Lesson 73 this morning, using proportions to solve percent problems. So the example they give you is if a subway ticket costs $4, how much do 20 tickets cost? Okay, so you need to write the ratio of tickets to dollars as a fraction and then find an equivalent fraction by multiplying. So it was if 5 tickets cost $4, how much do 20 cost? So $4 for 5 tickets is how many dollars for 20 tickets? That's how you should say it in your head, okay? $4 for 5 tickets. How many tickets? Oh wait, did I do that wrong? No, that's right. How much would 20 tickets be? Right? So, you've seen math like this for months now, and it should automatically go, well, can I change 5 to 20? Yep, I can change 5 to 20. What do I have to multiply by? 5 times 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. So, times the top by 4, and I end up with 16. So it would cost $16 for 20 tickets. Okay? So let's have a look at question number 1. There's really no new learning, I don't think, today. It's, again, putting things together that we've learned earlier this year. Things are starting to come together. Okay, so they've got 3/4 equals how many 20ths? Well, how did I get from 4 to 20? Times 5 on the top gives me 15. Okay, now I'll pick one other random one. 13/20ths, this is G, is how many hundredths? Well, how would I get from 20 to 100? Times 5, which is 65. Okay, you guys got the number 1, easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Pause the video, go do number 1. Okay, number 2. Solve the ratio as you did in question 1. But this time, the arrows don't necessarily all come this way. They can also go to the left. So let's have a look at the first one. 15 over something. Oh, no, that's not what it is. 15 over something is 3 over 4. Okay? So how did I get from 3 to 15? Times 5. So that means that down here, I also have to go times 5, and it was 20. Okay? I'll do one more with you. Let's try 12/18 is how many thirds? How do I get from 3 to 18? Times 6. So that means that this number times 6 equals 12. So how many times do I have to count by 6s to get to 12? 2. So 12/18 equals 2/3. Okay? Again, you've done this all. It's now just coming to actually mean something. Pause the video, go to number 2. Number 3, for each question you will have to reduce the fraction before you can find the equivalent fraction. Okay, so again, we have done this before. When we were trying to get to decimal fractions, to get to 100, sometimes you couldn't get directly to 100, so you would reduce it to get a denominator that would make it to 100. Exact same thing here. We're going from one denominator to another denominator where it doesn't work. But if we reduce the fraction, then we'll find a denominator that can get to where we want to get to. So, first one, 8/10 equals 4/5 equals how many 15ths? Okay? So we started with 8/10. I could not have gone from 10 to 15. So I had to reduce it first. So I had to find a number that could make it to 15. So I look at my 10 and go, okay, I could divide these both by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then I can get from 5 to 15. How do I get from 5 to 15? Times 3. So times 3 on the top gives me 12. 12/15. Okay? Let me do one of the later ones so you can see where you have to reduce. So 70/100ths equals something and equals something over 90. So I can't go from 100 to 90. So I gotta find a number that'll go into 90. As soon as I see a 0, I think it's 10 is a good choice. Can I go from 100 down to 10? Yep. Let's divide them both by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 10 makes 10. 10 divided by 100 is 10, because 10 hundreds make 100. And now, can I go from 10 to 90? Absolutely. Times 9, times 9, 9 90ths. Okay? All right. I feel like maybe I should show you one more of those where we're reducing. Okay? Let's try 15 18ths. Equals some fraction, and then our bottom number has to be 30. Okay. We can't get from 18 to 30, but what could go into, 15, sorry, the sun was on that, 15 18ths. What could we reduce 15 18ths to? What number goes into 15 and 18? Well, whenever I see 15, I automatically think 3 and 5. And 5 doesn't go into 18, so why don't we try 3? So let's go divide by 3, divide by 3. So how many 3's make 15? 5. How many 3's make 18? 6. Can I get from 6 to 30? Yes, I can. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Times it by 5. Times by 5 on the top, 25 30ths. Okay? So you go do the remaining 3 or 4 questions. Come on back for number 4. Write a proportion to represent the percent problem and solve the proportion. So, what percent is 20? Oh, of 4, of 20 is 4. Okay, so what percent? I don't know. What percent? So we know that that's that part. Of 20 is 4. So 4 out of 20 is what percent? Can I get from 20 to 100? Yes. I times by 5. So I times by 5 up here, and I get 20 on top. So I have solved the proportion. But the way that they have it laid out is they have a blank for part, a blank for the whole, and a blank for the percent. So the part is 4, the whole is 20, and the percent is unknown. But we do know it's out of 100 because it's a percent. Okay? So there's A. Let's try, I don't know, C. Let's try C. What is 17% of 10? Okay. So we've got a part, a whole, and a percent, right? What is 17% of 10? So we are looking for the part that is 17% of 10. So I don't know what that is. My whole is 10 and my percent is 17. So I have something over 10 equals 17 over 100, 17%, right? Can I get from 10 to 100? Absolutely. Times 10. So it's got to be something times 10 to give me 17. So I'm glad I chose this one. You might want to use your calculator to figure out what 17 divided by 10 is to get that. Or we know by the math we've been doing for the last while that if I divide something, it's going to be smaller. So my decimal would be here, so dividing by 10 means I skip it one place, and I would have 1.7. So 1.7 out of 10. It is 1.7 is 17% of 10. Okay? Go finish the last two, and we're down to, I don't know. Oh, actually, there's a couple here that don't have answers, so I'll do one of those for you. 6 is 25% of what? number. Okay, so we know that 6 is the part. We don't know what the whole is, but we do know that it's 25%, so 25 out of 100. Well, the problem is I can't get from 6 to 25. There's nothing that multiplies. Maybe if I reduced this, I could get a number that I could get to 6 or something close, right? Well, 25 100ths. Does 25 go into 100? It does. It goes in 4 times. So let's divide by 25. So 25 divided by 25 would be 1, and 100 divided by 25 would be 4. Now, I can go from 1 to 6, right? How many 1s make 6? Times 6. So I go times 6 down here, and I end up at 24. So 6 is 25% of 24, which makes sense because 25% is a quarter, so that means there'd be 4 of them, so 4 6s make 24. All right, you finished that last couple of questions, and then let's do the second page. All right, explain number 5. Explain why the proportion 3 over 25 is equal to x over 100. Oh, would be easy to solve. Why would this be easy to solve? Well, you know very well that I can get from 25 to 100 easily. It's a one-step answer, so that's why it would be easy to solve. 6. Write a proportion a over b equals x over 100 to represent each problem. Solve by first writing a over b in lowest terms. Okay, so we've got to get our first fraction there to be in lowest terms. Okay, what percent of 15 is 3? Okay, what percent? I don't know. What percent of 15 is 3? So 3 goes over 15, right? I can't get from 15 to 100. So I have to rewrite this as lowest terms. When we're rewriting things in lowest terms, the first question you ask yourself is, does the top number go into the bottom number? That's going to be lowest terms if it does. 3 does go into 15, so we're going to divide them both by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 1/5 equals something over 100. Can I get from 5 to 100? Yep. Times 20. Times 20 on the top. 20 over 100. So it says what percent is 15 of 3? So it's 20%, because 20 over 100 is 20%. Right? Just wanted to make sure that my answer was in the proper format, because if they ask me for a ratio and I give them a fraction, numbers might be right, but the answer's not. Okay? So you do the next 2 by yourself. Reduce to lowest terms. Number 7. What do we got here? Oh my goodness, all the way to 12. Okay, 7. Write a proportion to represent the percent problem. Find an equivalent ratio to rewrite the proportion and solve the new proportion. Okay, if 6 is 40%, if 6 is 40%, what is 100%? Okay, so 6 out of something is 40%. 40 over 100, right? I can't get from 6 to 40. So let's see what we can find. They've got it as part, whole, and percent. So the part is 6, the whole is, I don't know, and the percent is 40, right? So 6 over something equals 40 over 100. So 6 over something, what are we going to do with this? We've got to get it lower. The hint they gave us was that they made it to 2/5. So that means that they took 20. They divided both of those by 20 because 2 20s is 40 and 5 20s is 100. Now, can I get from 2 to 6? Yep, times 3. So that means that bottom number has to be 15. What is 100%? 15. Okay, so that was the example. Now, let's skip down, let's say to C. What percent, I'm going to use my question mark in the question, what percent is 60 of 45? Okay, so we've got, what percent of 60 is 45? Okay, got it. So my part, my whole, my percent. So we don't know what the percent is because it says right there, what percent is, what percent of 60, that's why I was screwed up, is 45. So 60 is the whole, 45 is the part. So 45 over 60 equals something, we don't know what it is, as a percent out of 100. I can't get from 60 to 100, so what can I do with that 60 to get to something that can turn into 100? Well, if I look at 40, did they give us a hint on this one? No, no hints. Okay, oh wait, start by, with a denominator of 20. So they think that we should get a denominator of 20. Well, how did I go from 60 to 20? I divided by 3. 20, 40, 60. It means 3 20s make 60. So I need to divide this number by 3. Well, how many 3s make 45? 15, 30, 45. So 15 20ths equals something over 100. How do I go from 20 to 100? Times 5. So this has to be times 5. 15 times 5 is 75. Okay? All right. They've given you hints there to help you take the next step. So go finish answering number 7. 8. Explain why the proportions in question 7 were more challenging than those in question 4. Well, the ones in question 7 you had to reduce to lowest terms first. So it's a 2-step problem solving process as opposed to the first one, which was only a 1-step. There's a free answer for you. Okay, number 9. If 9 is 60% of what number? Okay, so think about it. We got the part, the whole, the percent. Well, we know it's 60%, and 9 is the part, so we don't know this. So 9 over something equals, 9 over something equals 60 over 100. Pardon me. Okay, so I can't get from 9 to 60, but so I have to change this. So let's try, when I look at 9, I'm thinking of 3. So I need this to come down to some multiple of 3. So 3 goes into 60 20 times. So if I divide by 3, I get 20 here. Oh, 3 doesn't go into 100. So that won't work. What did I do? 9, 60. Okay, so let's divide by 20. And that would give us 3 here and 5 here, right? 100 divided by 20 is 5. So 3/5. How do I get from 3 to 9? Times 3. So down here, I go times 3 as well, and I get 15. So 9 is 60% of 15. Okay? I'll do one more with you. What percent, was it this one that was tricky? What percent of 360 is 72? Okay, so we know that it's what percent, I don't know what the percent is So 72 and 360. Okay, so I can't get from 360 to 100. 72, what goes into 72? Well, 2 does. 2 goes in, no, I don't want to do that. But let's think about this. It's 2 times 36. Well, 36 would go in here and in here, because I see a 36 right there. So let's divide them both by 36. So 72 divided by 36 would be 2. 360 divided by 36 would be 10. Now I can get to 100. 10 times 10 is 100, so 2 times 10 is 20. So 72 is 20% of 360. Okay? Pause the video, go answer the rest of those. And we only got a couple left. 10. If 5 cars are red, what percent of the cars are red? What percent are not red? Oh, if 5 of 20. So if 5 out of 20 cars are red, what percent of cars are red? So what percent? Super easy. How do I get from 20 to 100? Times 5. Times 5 on the top, 25. So 25% are red. What percent are not red? The rest. I'll let you figure out what the rest is out of 100. Right? Go finish that. 11. If 35% of 120 students use an MP3 player, how many use an MP3 player? Okay, so 35%, so that's 35 out of 100. And we know that the total number of kids is 120, but we don't know how many that is, right? So we can't go from 100 to 120 or vice versa, so we have to reduce this. So I see 5 and 0, so I'm automatically thinking 5s. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. 100 divided by 5 is 20. Can I get from 20 to 120? Yep, times 6. 7 times 6 is 42, which means 42 kids have MP3 players. Okay? And last one. 10 students in a class, which is 40% of the class, ride a bike. How many students are in the class? Okay, so we know it's 10 out of something is 40 out of 100, 40%, right? So 10 to 40 is times 4. So this number times 4 has to equal 100. So what times 4 equals 100? 25. So how many kids are in the class? 25. All right. Made it through another day. Have a fun day. It's beautiful outside.